All right, guys, we are going to start working on narrative writing. And these are notes that I would have us take in class. But since we're not there, I'm just going to talk about the notes. And I'm going to show you some examples. So what's important, or what we're going to focus on, especially this week, is the difference between expressive writing and reflective writing. And what you have to do is be able to do both of these things within one piece. So I went back and I read a lot of your work. And remember, we did the slides each day. We did one about a person, one about an event, one about a place. And we're really good at expressing, but we're not as good at reflecting. So that's what we're going to work on, is being able to do both of those in the same piece of writing. So what's the difference between expressing and reflecting? Expressing. First and foremost, expressive writing is personal writing. The writer shares thoughts, ideas, feelings, and questions about his or her experience. The author tells the reader how he or she feels. The author is recalling the incident and giving details about something that has happened. A vast majority, 75% of your writing in narrative is going to be expressive writing. That's you telling the story. That is you giving details about what happened. So most of the writing is going to be expressive writing. The other 25-ish% is going to be reflective writing. So this is what it says about reflective writing. Though also personal, reflective writing also often moves beyond recounting an experience and into the exploration of how that particular experience has shaped the writer. The goal of reflective writing is not to share final thoughts on a topic. On the contrary, it is a vehicle for exploring and discovering new thoughts. In reflective writing, the author often looks at the past as a means for looking at the future. So in reflective writing, you're going to talk about what that incident means to you. So it could be what that person means to you, what that place means to you, what that event means to you today, or what you have learned or gained from that person, place, or experience. So that's the difference between expressive writing and reflective writing. We are now going to look at an example. So what you'll do is you will click to the next slide. You all will click on this link. I've already got mine pulled up, so I'm just going to open it up. And this is the document that you will be able to see. This is an article, and we are going to look at it for expressive and reflective writing. So I'm only going to read about 3 paragraphs and explain those. You will be required to read the rest. This Valentine's Day, thanks to the advent of removable tattoo ink, couples can inscribe each other's names into their skin without nagging for the fear of forever. It's practical, but unromantic. The fringe culture equivalent of a prenup. If only I'd put off my quarter-life crisis until this year, maybe I wouldn't be living with my own flawed tattoo. Blurry, bumpy with scar tissue, hollowed with a permanent blue bruise. That says haloed. Haloed with a permanent blue bruise. I spent the past few years learning to love it. Not an easy task for someone who color codes her email, alphabetizes her bookshelves, and tweezes compulsively. But as I read about removable tattoo ink, flipping through Time's Best Inventions of 2007, I realized I'm not sorry my ink is permanent. I may have messed up tattoo, but I have no regrets. So I highlighted that section in blue. That is a perfect example of reflecting. So over here, you can see where I commented that is reflecting. The reason it is reflecting is because she's thinking about her experiencing. She's kind of fleshing out her thoughts about the experience that she's going to go on to describe to us. It was a cold April afternoon when I walked into a random Lower East Side tattoo shop and rolled up my sleeve. I showed the artist where I'd inscribed and felt tip pin on the side of my left wrist the phrase, "break to keep fixing," a lyric by the seminal 90s punk band Jawbreaker. The artist swabbed the marker from my skin and had me rewrite the phrase in an aqua Sharpie. All right, so that right there is express. She is telling you the story about what happened to her. So after you're finished reading that, you'll go back to your Google Slides. You will click here, and you will click this link to take your quiz. The quiz has examples of expressing and reflecting, and you will have to determine what is which. That is all for today.